Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Jenny, of course, for those of you who know me. And for those of you who don't, welcome to my channel. Now, in order to get notifications about when I'm going live, offering some free clairvoyant readings and doing my videos, you've got to hit that little subscribe button right down there in the corner in order to know about this. Or you can follow me on Instagram, Jeni Ji Cousins, and I'll follow you right back. Now, today I'm offering free clairvoyant readings, as I just mentioned. And what I would need to know from you is, what astrological sign are you? Are you like a Leo, a Sagittarius, Virgo? And also, please ask me a specific question. Like, don't say, what do you see for me? What's coming up? Don't do that. Ask me a specific question so that way I can give you the specific answer. If not, you might not get the answer you're looking for. So before we begin, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on right now. So for those of you who have been watching my Cosmic Vibes series, every week I post a video and I tell you what's happening every single day energy-wise. So let's see, if I say, you know what, Tuesday the 5th of November, let's say, or whatever day it is, this is what you can expect. Because sometimes, if you've noticed, sometimes you're like, wow, why am I feeling so emotional or off kilt? Or why am I feeling this or this or that? This is because these cosmic energies affect all of us. And some people, I get emails, like from different people, why am I so emotional all of a sudden? So this is why I do these. And it also helps you to plan certain times. Like, I purposely book appointments during certain time frames, during certain days, whatever it is, because that will work more in alignment and it will flow much better for me. So if we start to set certain plans to start something on certain dates, it might not work out. You could be like, wow, I'm really struggling. Why isn't this working out? There's reasons for that. There's reasons for that. So that's why I will say these dates, this time, this is when you really start to manifest things. I manifest all the time. So I talk about, what goals to set, long-term, short-term goals, what's coming up, how to do that, how to manifest. Because when you work with that, as I mentioned, it will work with you. Now, right now, there could be some frustrations because we have just entered, not long ago, on the 21st of October, the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde. So the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde can be more harder than the actual retrograde itself, which starts on the 9th of November. So you might notice there's some technical glitches, there could be electronical glitches, and you're going to find there's certain people coming back from your past. So when people start coming back from our past, it gives you that opportunity to resolve situations with them. Maybe you're just wanting closure. Maybe you're like, it's so nice to see you. All of that. So really pay attention right now, because this is the 25th and the 26th of October was the time when circled around to sign contracts. Now, as we move into the actual retrograde, that's not the time to sign new contracts because you might regret it. So this is why it's like, work with the energies. The energies will work with you. I do it all the time. Like, there was something new I was going to sign up for and start during Mercury retrograde, and I'm like, oh my God, no, that is not the time. It wouldn't go, it wouldn't work. There would have been a lot of technical issues, electronical issues. So I'm like, I'm going to circle that in my calendar, sign up for it then, and start learning about that program. So when you work with that, it will work much better with you. So pay attention right now, because especially when you're sending messages, whenever you're sending a message, make sure you're like, okay, did I send it to the right person? Make sure you look at, what did I say? Because you could write something and then all of a sudden all of these typos come in and you're like, I didn't say that, right? So even when you send the message, go into your sent folder, pay attention to, did I actually send it to the right person? Did I say this right? All of that. And if you're expecting a message from somebody, it can be delayed. It very well could go into your junk or spam folder. So all kinds of issues start happening now. And what you are working on now with this pre-shadow, you're going to see that it's going to be more prominent in the actual retrograde starting on the 9th. So there's a couple of things I've started this week, that I've had to start. So I'm going to see more of the results during the Mercury retrograde, or it can work more with me. So when you start things before, it can work better for you in the actual blast of the wrath. I always say the wrath of Mercury retrograde because it is a wrath. There's travel delays, there's delays, there can be lost luggage. How many of you guys get really frustrated? Well, I can't, why isn't this working? I click this and I click that, nothing's happening. Or it takes you off to some other cosmic zone, right? That's why with this energy right now. So we're also moving into Scorpio season. We already are. So you're going to find that it's going to be, Scorpio is very transforming. It's like that huge rebirth, huge transformation. So when you take advantage of these energies of, wow, you know what, this is the time for me to really transform, me to really step it up, end these situations, resolve these situations, because when you do that, especially as we're getting closer to the end of this year, like, oh my God, right? Like, seriously, we're just a stone's throw away. This year, for those of you who have been watching my Cosmic Vibe series, it has been a year of completion, endings, death. This is a universal 9 year. So whatever it is that you're struggling to end or to let go of, or that it's just not working, end it, let it go. Because when you end something, new doors open up for you, takes you on a different direction. If it's a relationship, if it's a job, if it's a project, and some people they get, oh my gosh, I'm going to get scared. What if that's moving into the fear? A lot of fear. So with this energy of the year of the snake this year, there's been a lot of healing. There's been a lot of rebirth, shedding the old skin, embracing the new skin, snake energy, sensuality. However, snakes are very deceitful. So you've seen, certain people, let's say, that, wow, the masks fell off. I'm seeing them for who they really are. They're just full of it. They're not honest. They're not truthful. They're just scamming me. Like whatever it is, that's when you have to really pay attention and look back and observe everything. Take a look at where things were. Take a look at where things are now. So what you need to end, I would highly recommend it. Start doing research on different things. I do research all the time on different things. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it, but I do research and I look into things before I start something. So this is your time to take advantage of this energy right now and get a lot of things done and cleared before this new year ends. So a lot of the predictions I have set for 2025 have come true. So I do a prediction video every year. So I think it came out in December last year or January, I don't remember. So this is the time, but Jeni, I have to wait until the new year to set goals or vision boards. You don't have to wait. I have a vision board, like it's actually pinned to my wall in my closet. So whenever I think of something new, oh yeah, I want to learn how to do that, or you know what, I need help with that, or I want to manifest these things. Make sure that you go back and look at it and wow, okay, I got to really take a look at what I want to manifest, all of those things, because it will program it into your mind to keep things going. And there's a lot of things I had on my vision board, and I'm like, oh my God, why are all these things happening? And I'm like, oh my God, you wrote it on your vision board. You did. And I'm like, oh, okay. Certain things, like I said, that we might need help with, or that we know we're like, you know what, I got to figure this out, or I got to get this done and over with, or whatever. Write it down, because the sooner you deal with things, it's ended. It's done. It's over with. Oh, I got to get this done and that done. Yeah, get it out of the way. Get it dealt with. You know, this Mercury retrograde is very health focused. Any health appointments that you're worried about, like no matter how small it is, you're like, get it checked. Mercury retrograde health, when you focus on that, book appointments. That's what I'm saying. Book appointments during your health all around this time, and the energy will work with you. If you don't, and you're like, I don't want to deal with that right now, I'm too freaked out, you might regret it. You know what I mean? So listen to your body, listen to how your body feels. Very, very important. And this is not the time to really like go 100 miles an hour. You know what I mean? The retrograde wants you to slow down because the retrograde moves backwards. So that's why things are like, oh my gosh, I got to take a breather. I just got to really, I got to take a breather. Yes. For goodness sakes, don't force anything during this time. Look into things, do your research, make long-term goals even more so, because you will see things happening and coming together. But I wanted it now. Maybe it wasn't the right timing. Maybe it was not the right path. So when things aren't happening, when there's delays, there's reasons for that. Like the universe, and I've seen this, I don't know how many times. I could give you a million examples, but I want this, or I want to be in that relationship, or whatever it is, this, and that. Why isn't it working? That's because the universe is showing you red flags. It's trying to redirect you onto a whole entire different path. The universe wants to help you. I mean, I swear and cuss to the universe every day. I do, you know, but I'm always like, okay, I surrender, I give up, I'm leaving it. I trust you guys. And especially when certain things happen, I'm like, thank you. I'm so grateful. Make sure you do that, because if the universe, they know you're talking to them, they'll give you more signs. I get signs all the time, like the other day, when was it? 2 days ago, I had 10 minutes before I had to leave. And I'm like, oh my God, Jeni, if you go there, if you go to that, you have to make that decision. And I'm like, oh my God, Spirit, I have 10 minutes left, 10 minutes before I have to leave for this. Please give me a sign, for the love of God, a physical sign. So then I went online, just actually looking for something totally different. Boom, there was my sign. Very, very direct. Like 2 things that I asked for that would give me one sign. And I'm like, so I went. I'm like, okay, I'm trusting you, Spirit. I'm trusting the universe. And I went, picked it up, brought it back here. We're like, oh my God. But you know what I mean? Pay attention. The universe, the spirit world wants to work with you. We've all been through enough. We've all been through enough challenges and trauma and all of those things. You know what I mean? And you really got to show kindness and compassion towards humanity, and especially towards yourself, because you truly don't know what somebody's going through. You really don't know. You really don't know. Certain people, they keep a lot to themselves. I keep probably about 90% of the things to myself, so there's certain people that don't talk about certain things. So you can't judge anybody. We all have our own journey. We all have our own path to walk on. So make sure you guys really pay attention to that. Okay. So let's do some readings now. So again, make sure you let me know what sign you are, like if you're a Leo or a Sag or Libra, whoever you are. And, let me know your first name only. I don't need a last name. And ask me a specific question. If you say what's coming up for me, I won't answer you. So if I do, it might not be the question that you want. So keep it in mind. And if it's something very, very super personal that might affect you or embarrass you, I won't talk about it. You can always book a private reading with me, soulworkwithjeni.com, and I will give you a full, detailed, explicit reading just between you and I in private. So keep that in mind, you guys. Okay, so where are we here? Let's go to our first question here. Alvin, October 3rd, Libra, love life, any close connection coming? I'm in Alberta and would like to know about financial future. So I'm not going to give you like a full blown out reading there, Alvin. You can book like a private reading with me. So let's just pick a certain question here. Love life. You know what? Like right away, what I'm hearing for you, Alvin, is I'm hearing the new. This past person or this other person that you might have been really, really disappointed in, let them go. Let them go. You know, I don't see any big changes with that person whatsoever. I don't see them taking any huge steps. You know, they're not looking for any type of like serious connection or relationship in that. But I do see somebody new coming in for you. So what I would do is make sure that you be very specific and write down exactly what you're looking for with qualities, because you're going to have a couple of different choices to choose from. And it can throw you off because you might find your past person might come back. So hope that gives you a little bit of insight. Cherry blossom. Oh, I like that. I love cherry blossoms. Cancer, what's coming towards me in love this year? Let me see here. You know what I'm seeing is there is somebody coming for you. This new person that I'm seeing is really going to help you heal from your past disappointments as well. So what I want you to really reflect over, especially with your past connections, are the third party involvements. This new person that is coming in really loves to travel, and he's looking for his future partner. You know, he has like a medium skin tone color. So this is, again, any love questions, you know, any guys, any of you that really want love, like before I even answer you, always start writing down what qualities you're really looking for and be very specific, you know, because we can attract certain people to us and we're like, oh, but geez, I wish they were single, they're married. Or, gee, I wish they lived locally to me, they live across the other side of the world. Or, you know what, we just don't speak the same language, or, you know, all of that. So, you know, this is why it's like be very specific with like everything, everything. You don't need to write down what they look like, you know? So there is somebody coming in for you this year with, or I mean, actually, he might not even come in till next year, by the way. Like I keep seeing the water. So, you know, he very well could live by water or really loves the water, by the way. So hope that gives you a little insight. Ellen, Virgo. Hi, Jenny. I'm adding to number 1 at the top. I don't know what you're talking about. Where do you see us moving? I'm adding to number 1. What are you talking about? Where do you see us moving? You know, I do see a move for you, but this is something where you don't want to push this. You don't want to rush this. Like I'm literally seeing like you more in a quiet environment, like a quiet like neighborhood, you know, and it's kind of like that. It's not like a city, a city apartment overlooking some busy city. I'm seeing something more quiet, you know, and I'm seeing it being very like wow, you know, you're sitting out, you know, and you're watching the view. You're sitting out and you're like, wow, this is so quiet and peaceful. The neighborhood is very quiet and peaceful. You know, it's like you literally can walk around the neighborhood and it's quiet. You know, it's like certain neighborhoods, let's say, or areas, they're more busy, they're more, you know, like noisy and such like that. But I'm seeing it very quiet for you, and I'm seeing a lot of different trees. So, you know, it very well out of the country, no. Um, if you do decide to go out of the country, I do see water. So I don't know if you're going to like move around like water, but I do see that if you choose to move out of the country. I would do a lot of research because there's always the pros and the cons where with any country, city, town, no matter where you are. There's positives and negatives. I mean, I've lived in 3 different countries myself. I'm actually looking at going somewhere else for quite some time now. But it's really important to do the research on it, like really find out everything, especially if you're moving out of state or the country. Do everything, and then you can say, you know what, is this going to work with me or not, and so on and so on and so on. Do the research, and I'd also suggest to go there, go take a look at like the surroundings, go take a look at how you feel, how you like it. Like I had went away myself, and because it was a place I had circled to look at, and I had all these places circled, and I'm like, these places here, yes, those have worked. I've already talked to the landlords and all of these things. But the place I really wanted, oh, it's way too far out. No, that's not going to work. So I would suggest that, really, really try to look at that too, especially when you're looking at making a distant move, right? Sometimes we can just wing it, of course, right? But I would suggest that. I've had a lot of experience moving out of countries and stuff, right? So, um, BG, if you could give me like a first name, 917 Virgo. I need direction when and where I will find to purchase a new, to me, used SUV. Do not buy any vehicles right now or in November, because we are in Mercury retrograde. The last thing that you guys want to do, by the way, is buy any big purchase during the Mercury retrograde, because you might regret it. You know what I mean? Like if you've been talking to, like somebody before with something for quite some time, and you're like, I've been waiting for this. And if it happens to come during the retrograde, that's a little bit different, right? If you were talking to somebody about a certain SUV for a little while, and they're like, you know what, I'll sell it to you in November, that's okay. But don't, if that is not the case, do not get a used or a new vehicle during Mercury retrograde during November. Like I would not. I'd wait till December, realistically, right? But that's going to take a little time. I do see that coming for you. So just kind of hang in there. But again, write down exactly what you want. Write down, like the make and the model that you want. Write down you can afford it very easily. Write down the color you want. Write down like if you want like a stereo system or a sunroof or like whatever you want inside, let's say. And I would especially write down the vehicle's in perfect condition. There's no problems whatsoever, mechanically, electrically, all of that. So I know the make, model, and features. Write it down. Looking for it, coming to fruition. Yeah. So don't get it during the Mercury retrograde. Don't. Right. I don't recommend it. So I do see a change for you. Yes. Definitely. So, Amra, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. October, Libra. Oh, we got a lot of Libras here. I'm not surprised. You guys should watch, if you watch my Cosmic Vibes video, you should watch it, because I talked about actually that Libra moon we just had. It was very powerful. So female. Hi, Jenny. Please tell me about my health and well-being. I don't really give out health. I don't want to talk about anything legally or health-wise. But what I would do is I mentioned, I don't know if you're here when I first started talking about during Mercury retrograde right now. Mercury retrograde is the time to book any wellness, any health appointments. Like I purposely, as I mentioned, I will book health or wellness appointments during the pre-retrograde now or during the retrograde. Because if you book it in now, let's say, and it doesn't matter, I would rather go to like a doctor, let's say, and say, you know what, I have concerns with this. I'm really freaked out, and get it checked, than to, geez, it's too late. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's too late for you, but what I am saying is, get it checked, like get it checked, right? You know what I mean? It's really important to do that. So any health and well-being, and I'm also hearing too, but even as it is natural healing would be good for you as well. You know, like if I had concerns with like my heart, for instance, I would not go to a naturopath. No. So when you're worried about something more major, Mac, we can hear you. So um, but I would look at that. I would definitely do that. Take a look at that more so, you know what I mean? Get it done and out of the way. Like I've been going through a lot of health problems myself since the beginning of this year, getting a lot of things done and over with skin cancer to all different kinds of things, right? So get it done, get it checked, done it over. This is Universal 9 year. So work on what you're worried about to complete itself, to end it, to resolve issues with, right? Because that way it's like, okay, you know what? I resolved all of these situations or this or that. Now I can move on. I'd rather hear the doctor say, you know what? I don't think there's any issues, problems, but you know what? We'll send you for tests. Yes. Would you rather not the doctor come back and say, yeah, everything's okay? Or, you know, we got to pay attention to that. So do that. Like I'm hearing something more natural, but I would definitely do that. Right. Um, Gelée, I think so, if I'm pronouncing that wrong. If I'm pronouncing that right, I don't know. Virgos and Libras we got in the room today. Christy. Um, Jayla Jello Christy. Okay. I'm running low on cash to make home repairs. Fencing, windows, carpeting, replacing 2 toilets, other flooring at a lodger head. Should I draw from any retirement I have? I would balance things right now. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we can get like there's a lot of things that we might need to do and to get. However, it's really important to balance in what the priorities are. Like there's certain things that I would need myself, but I'm like, okay, I'm not able to do that right now financially, let's say, unless it's something of huge priority that I have to do, then you have to do it, right? So I do see that all of these repairs and stuff, like I'm hearing it's an investment for you too. So all of these little repairs that you're doing, it is going to pay off for you is what I'm hearing right away. However, I do want you to balance out you know, the priorities, getting things done, unless it's something where it's like, okay, we need you to have all of these things done by this date. That's a little different. So just monitor that, just monitor a little bit, balance. You know, Mercury retrograde is not the time to be spending huge money, you know, little money on investments and certain things like that that would help you, like help ground you, help give you clarity, help move you forward in certain things. Yeah, that's completely different, right? So it depends on your retirement, how much, you know, don't drain your retirement fund to do all these repairs unless like it's something that has to be done. I mean, like if the windows are all broken, well, yeah, you got to fix them. Do you know what I mean? Just certain things. So just carpeting. I'm hearing, you know, it might be actually better to rip out the carpet for some reason. I'm hearing. So I never know what messages come through, by the way, from spirit. Um, so Gurpreet, Capricorn. Oh, we get Capricorn in here. Please tell me about my health sickness. As I mentioned, I don't give health, um, health or legal insights. Um, but the only thing I'm really going to say to you is what I'm hearing is your immune system. You got to really pay attention to that because it's almost like your immune system is lower. You know, you've been so stressed out about certain things, you know, financials and just certain things like that. So whenever we get worried, what happens is it affects our health. So we start to lose sleep, we start to change our diet. You know, stress is the number one killer in our body, right? So I would start resetting goals, resetting plans. You know, Mercury retrograde, as I mentioned right now, is the time to really pay attention to health, is the time to get it checked out by your doctor, certain things like that. But I'm just really hearing right now that immune system more than anything right now. You have to boost that immune system up stronger. You know, it's really important. You know what I mean? certain things are changing and all of that. So yeah, I would do that. Very, very, very important. There's just kind of some energy and environment you're around that's not working for you as well. Paula, we got another Virgo in the room here. My basement door started rattling yesterday morning. As soon as you said rattling, I just heard an energy, a presence is right there. But the door started rattling yesterday morning for seemingly no reason at all. Can you see if this was the spirit energy? Yes, it was. It definitely was. So, the door rattling, what the sign right there is representing door. So doors, when we open up new doors, we have to close old doors. So, the spirit's like, hey, Paula, pay attention. There's new doors opening up for you. And not only just that, is because your abilities, you're getting more sensitive and you're more involved with spiritual energies, spiritual studies, and you're transforming into more higher consciousness. You're getting more sensitive. So when our angelic team, our guides, spirit world, they're like, oh my gosh, like they've been on that path. They're ready. We're gonna rattle that door. We're gonna get her attention. Right? So that's what's going on. And what I would do might freak you out, but go on your own. I mean, this is, depending on what you want. I always ask spirit for give me a physical sign. What I would do is when you're hearing something or you're like, I don't know, is that spirit or is that, I would say this. I would say spirit, angels, whoever, give me a physical sign. This is from the spirit world. Knock 3 times on the wall or the door or wherever, or give me a loud knock. And then just surrender it, sit back, and then be open. The cat too will tell you spirit. But I would start practicing doing that. Like when we open our eyes out, because I help people open up their abilities as well. And when we really start tapping into the spirit world, you will be really surprised what happens. I mean, I'm putting classes together as well. I've been working on it for a little while. They're not going to be ready till 2026 next year. There's many different ones and so on and so on. But when we start tapping into that spirit world, the spirit world's like, oh my gosh, they're ready. They're ready to start getting messages from us. And this is the time to be open for that. If you want that, like, I know people that are very gifted, they have many different amazing abilities. And, they don't do readings or anything like that. They keep it to themselves. And they're like, and I'm like, you got to be comfortable. So, we're all intuitive, right? We all have that intuition and certain gifts and abilities. And there are some people that are like, no, I use it on my friends or family or myself, and that's perfectly fine as well. You know what I mean? Like we all have different abilities or skill sets or talents and abilities and so on and so on. And it's more important to really pursue what you're truly, truly passionate about, what you're really drawn towards, because whenever we start getting pulled towards, so if you guys really take a look back on this entire year, especially with this being like more of a spiritual year, look back and see if you have changed your career specifically or your beliefs. I've been talking about this in for quite some time on my YouTube channel, how there's been so many more changes in our world since 10,000 years. And that's just expanding and expanding and expanding now. So, some of you out there, let's say if you're a lawyer, for instance, right? You could be like, well, you know what? I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. I'm more drawn into, being more as a healer, let's say. Like once upon a time ago, many moons ago, many years ago, I used to run corporations and companies. the corporate this and a corporate that, and all of this, more corporate look and everything. And I do my readings on the side. And then I always remember my boss came up to me and he goes, Jenny, you should look more conservative, like cut your hair short and wear. And I'm like, what? I mean, I wasn't going to meetings looking like this, no, right? But no, you should do. And I'm like, no, that's just not who I am. So you're going to feel that pull from your soul. We don't want this anymore. We don't want you moving that way because you're changing. Keep in mind, with that energy of the snake, that's the year of the snake, there's been a lot of rebirthing going on, shedding the old skin, let's say the old corporate world, shedding into the new skin to be more of who you are, be more authentic, be where your soul wants you to be, no matter what. I used to have people say, oh my God, why would you leave the office? Why would you leave that industry? You're making so much money. And I'm like, you know what? Money's just energy. Like we need money to survive and of course and get through everything. But it's like, you know what? I gotta stay true to me. And even if I had like a millions of dollars, I would still be doing my readings. That won't ever change. I just would be able to not worry about having money to pay for rent and all of these things because I'm 100% self-employed, all of those things, but I would still be doing readings. So when you pursue what you're truly, truly, truly passionate about and interested in, that's your soul's calling. That's your soul's path. So it's like when you're sitting back and you're like, wow, I keep on getting drawn or pulled to change my career or to move here or to do this or to do that. Really pay attention to that. Really pay attention to that. Especially right now during this time, because right now you're going to be getting even a lot more vivid dreams. So, I always tell people when you are waking up, just make sure you guys have a notepad and a pen right beside your bed, wherever you're sleeping, because when you're waking up, you're still in that alpha state. So you're still coming back forth from the spirit world, like with that invisible umbilical cord, back into your physical body. So you very well are kind of waking up, but you're still remembering that dream, bits and pieces, write as much down as you can. You can always book a reading with me and I can give you more details what that message is. But there's a lot of messages incoming right now from the spirit world to help you, like show you things, like even before you go to sleep at night or take a nap, let's say, spirit, can you please give me the clarity? Can you please show me what's going to happen with this? Or about the situation, like some specific question, and go to sleep because you very well will be shown that in your dream. So this is a time to totally take advantage of these energies and work with this energy, but seriously get a notepad because as we get up and, get out of bed to start our day or whatever like that, we start to forget, you know what I mean? So write down as much because there's very profound messages, in our dreams and so on. So especially if it is somebody that passed on, or it could be an animal, it could be a family or friend, really pay attention to that because that's that person with a message. Even my mom just passed away here on October the 5th, and I literally had a dream about her the next night she came in. So I knew what the message was, you know what I mean? So sometimes we can automatically, I know what that message was. Or, you know what, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's a fear dream. I don't know, like all of that. So, let me know, right? Anna Lopez, March 19th, the Pisces. We got a Pisces in here. I had to end a friendship with my best friend. Will she reach out? I'm just hearing that, sometimes we do have to end friendships. I've had to end friendships before. We've all ended friendships or relationships of all different kinds. And, because we're just not on the same path at all. We start to move a different direction and everything like that. And, like, I'm hearing more so it was like the butt of heads between the both of you. It's like, it's almost like what you guys were trying to say to each other. There was that clash of egos. You know what I mean? When we have that conversation with someone, especially if we're upset, make sure you're calm. because it's so easy to regret something that we've said or done when we are in that higher emotions. You know, that's normal. You know, we can like rip somebody's head off when we're really upset or emotional and such like that and later regret it. So I would really, really, before anything, is really reflect back on your friendship with her and or him, and to really take a look at where you guys are. Are you on the same path? You know, and anytime we end a relationship with anybody, you know, I personally always wish that person the best, even if I don't care for them or had a falling out, like whatever. I always wish for that person to be successful and happy and, you know, all of those things. I never wish anybody any hardness or hardship. God, have we not been through enough of the bullshit with this world as it is, with these so-called leaders and so on, right? So I do see in time that eventually you guys will talk. But what I would do though is really reflect back onto the friendship, look at what was not working, and really pay attention to why it wasn't working. Why were things said? You know, we have to allow people to be themselves. So, you know, certain people might say, you know, let's say if I make a decision, okay, I'm going to do this, right? Whatever it is. So I say, you know, to somebody, you know, what do I do? What do I do? I'm torn. I don't know what to do. I'll do that. You know, there's a decision that I've been trying to make for a little while, for those of you who know about two different things. Which one do I get? Oh, I'm going to go that way. No, 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 I'm going to go that way. Well, hell, maybe I'll just get them both. You know, because when there's that emotion there, you know, that if it's heart connected, you know, that's unconditional love. There's nothing wrong with that. However, certain situations, we have to look at the reality. Let's write down all of the facts. Let's write down all of the negatives. There's always negatives and positive in any situation, no matter what it is. It comes down to, how do you feel when you're with that person? Like, how is that person more in alignment with the direction that you're going through? So with this year being very transformational, we do, and we have walked away from people because we're just not on the same path anymore. And that can be really sad. You know, that can be really, wow, you know, we used to be really good friends, as you said. We used to do all kinds of things, and I miss that. Yeah, that's your heart speaking. However, there are toxic friendships as well. Family, friends, whoever it is. And when things get really toxic to the point of, oh my God, I feel I have to walk on eggshells. I can't be myself around this person, no matter who it is. That's not your person. That is not a friend. That is not your soul tribe. That, all of those things. You know, we evolve. It's like when we're in school and we grow up with people, you know, that person goes that way, that person goes that way, and we all live our different lives. So really do that first. But I do see a reconnection, but this is when it's more important to look at everything involved. Like, really, you know, there's certain people, especially during Mercury retrograde, you guys, right now, people from the past are coming back. You know, exes more so come back, but there could be friends coming back or family coming back that you hadn't seen for a while, or maybe you had a falling out with them. So we can forgive someone. I always suggest to forgive someone. It doesn't mean you're saying that, you know what you did to me was okay. What you are saying is, I've forgiven you just so I can move on in my life, and I wish you the best. So when people are coming back right now, take a look at, what do you truly want with that friendship or relationship or whoever it is. You know, sometimes it's like, yeah, you know, I wish you the best, but you know, we're just on different paths. You know what I mean? Whatever. And some people that's reached out to me when they've done me wrong, oh hell no. I won't even entertain opening up that door at all, or replying at all, depending what's happened. So Adela, Capricorn, we got another Capricorn in here. Am I correct to pursue my, yes, your spiritual path? Yes. I'm actually hearing a spiritual career for you as well. and really pay attention to your creative side with your spiritual path. I literally hear like new doors are going to be opening up for you very quickly. And I just, for some reason as well, I'm really hearing the water. I'm really seeing that, you're around the water a lot, that you will be. There's something connected with water. You're going to be more focused on having that stability, and you're going to be going through a lot of changes, by the way. So, yeah, absolutely. Pursue your spiritual path. Even when I was running these corporations for years, like I started my metaphysical studies when I was 14. And I'm old. I'm not like 14. I'm not nowhere near that age. So that's when I started my metaphysical studies. I mean, my ability started when I was 4, of course. When I started talking to the spirit world and so on and so on and so on. But you have to have a job. So of course I've had other jobs, run different companies before and all of that, but it was like, no, this is more of who I am, my spirituality, doing readings and so on. Right. Project Aquarius. So we had an Aquarius. Hi, Jeni Ji. What guidance can you give me about my divorce financial situation as it's coming very unfair? What can I learn from this? Well, the thing is too is surrendering, and there's just a lot of emotions involved with your ex. That's why. It's like your ex, because of the situation, didn't work, and plus a lot of personal stuff, which I won't mention, by the way. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's almost like that ego side of her is hurting because things didn't work, and all of those things. Sometimes we have to give in a little bit, you know what I mean, just to move on. However, I am hearing for you to even take more of a stand as well in this situation. Things will be negotiated even more, right? So I don't give out a lot of legal advice on purpose, even though I can see a lot. That's something personal you can book a reading with. But yeah, there's reasons why this is happening right now, even more and more and more. So any challenges, traumatic situations, whatever it is, the first thing I do is I'm like, you know what did I truly learn from this? What is this showing me? Number 1, patience. Number 2, understanding. Number 3, compassion. And so on. It's like standing your ground from this situation. And sometimes we have to give things up. Like I've lost a lot of money myself by investing with certain things or whatever, and nothing's worked out. So it's like, what did you learn from that situation? And then when you've had enough, you just move on. You know what I mean? Because it's like, this isn't working. It's not wasting my time anymore. I lost a lot of money with all of this and this and that. Time to move on. So it's that balance, right? It's really that balance. But there's always things to learn from it. Wisdom, any type of challenges. What did you truly, truly learn from it? Because you can utilize, your strength, and it can bring you huge transformational breakthroughs. It really can, right? Or sadness, traumas, challenges can push you towards the direction from your pain. I don't know how many times that's happened to me. Lost count. So, so if you guys do want to book like a private, very detailed reading, book through my website, soulworkwithjeni.com, and that way I'll give you all of your answers more detailed in questions, very specifically, and I will also post on, Cosmic Vibes and Instagram too, when I'm going live on YouTube. Like if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see when I'm going live. Follow me right here on my channel on YouTube. I'll say it in my Cosmic Vibes video too, when I'm going live, when the next live is going through. So it's really important to make sure you sign up and join it. And you can go back and listen to the Cosmic Vibes videos, because it will tell you exactly why that happened, why exactly that happened. So make sure that you join on here. All of my information will be right here on my YouTube channel. You know, that's the best place actually right now to catch me, to get all of these notifications and energies and stuff like that. So make sure you guys stay tuned to this next Cosmic Vibes video. It should be coming out here, you know, probably tomorrow sometime or Saturday, not sure, you know, and you can see exactly how things are playing out for you. And just make sure you really plan and circle things around the certain dates I give you guys, like I do all the time, you know, because certain things are going to start shifting up for you with this retrograde. You know, this is a year of endings. So certain situations that you were struggling with are coming to an end. As long as you guys were dealing with it, as long as you guys were resolving it. If you're not resolving it, it continues on and on and on, and it'll only get harder. Believe me, I think we've all know what that is like. So thanks everyone again for tuning in. I'm all grateful for you guys. You know, follow me and I'll follow you right back. And have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. It's Friday already. Oh my gosh. You know, it's going fast here. It's going really fast. So have a great weekend, you guys. Until next time, namaste.